Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your Week 10 Power Ranking show. Commish is back. It's been a long time. I think week 4 or 5 was the last time I actually did a show, Power Ranking show. But we're back. We're ready to rock. I want to just remind everybody, it is week 10. Behind the scenes, behind the curtain, the people who are here today, they got to hear me tell some stories, which is, I was told from one of our league members that I would be collecting $5 a week for his payment until the end of the year because Commish was so bad. David paid me $5 and I still need $45. I have yet to receive any payment. I know he is low on the totem pole in this league, but we need his $45. Also, we are missing out on a check from, who do you think it? Who never pays up? Every year we have the same issue. Anybody?
Mr. Jones.
Mr. Jones, $50 from Mr. Jones. And I'm not going to lie to you, that played a part in this week's power rankings. Okay. He's got a good team, but I hope he loses. Now I'm rooting against him. I would be rooting for him. If I had the 50, I'm rooting against him now. So let's see how it plays out in week 10 power rankings. First, we're going to start off with some Tyler's trivia. 4 QBs in the league at the top, okay, are Allen, Hurts, Herbert, and Lamar. Those are the top 4 fantasy getters. Without looking, who is 5th in QB fantasy right now?
Mahomes.
Okay, we got one for Mahomes. Anybody else? Anybody else with another guess?
Burrow.
Burrow. That's another guess.
Sam Howell.
Sam Howell. Ding, 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 ding. Correctamundo. At the beginning of the year, no one would have guessed a Washington Redskins, aka Commanders, player
being sued to go back to the Redskins.
What?
They're being sued to go back to the Redskins.
There you go. So go back to the Redskins or whatever you call it. All right. So top 5, Sam Howell. That's unique. I mean, you would expect Hurt, Allen, Herbert, and Lamar, but Sam Howell being 5th, that's amazing. Now let's get on to the moment everybody's been waiting for, what we've been craving for the past 5 weeks. Commish has even been craving to do one of these, and he just hasn't found the time, y'all. Hasn't found the time. Number 1, I'm going to give you their playoff percentage. I'm going to give you their stretch run player, who they need for this last stretch of a run, and then what they need to do for a championship run, all right? So it's their stretch run player, then what they need to do for that player or for that team. Number 1, I got to give it to him. He has finagled his way, just working and grooving, and sometimes you just got to honor somebody who's working hard on the wires, working hard on the trades. Jay Jetsis Jingleheimer Smith. I hate writing that name out. It's very hard to spell and very difficult to write out every single time I do one of these. 8-2, the guy has been awesome. He has a 99% chance of going to the playoffs. His best player, his stretch run player, not best player, but stretch run player, the guy he needs to step up to the plate, Calvin Ridley. He fit all the pieces together this year, week after week, and he has the pieces for a true championship run. So give it up to number 1 for the first time, I believe, this year, maybe second time this year. Number 1, Jay Jetsis Jingleheimer Smith, Mackenzie Mummy. Number 2, a guy that owes me money, okay? Guy that owes me money, the Commish money. He doesn't owe his son-in-law money. He owns the Commish money. That's a very different thing, guys. Very different. Tua B or not Tua B, that's a great name. 8-2, 99%. Saquon Barkley is his stretch run player. Peaked? Has he peaked? I'm not sure, but again, I'm putting the hex on him. I'm hoping he loses every single week from this point on, and Commish took him down last week. We're putting some bad juju on this team because no $50 has shown up, okay? He needs to find his optimal lineups if he wants to. Oh, forgot to tell you, the tiers this week are the Carpenters. If anyone knows this song, the Carpenters, The Top of the World. Well, how does it go, Momo? You know how to sing it. Hold on. On top of
the world looking down on creation.
All right, so they're on top of the world. The third person on top of the world right now has climbed back from the ashes. Laporta Potty, I got to give him credit. 6-3, 98 chance to win. His stretch run player, Najee Harris, needs to wake up, okay? First or second round pick, optimal lineup should be easy after the bye weeks for him. Don't know if this team can sustain one injury. If there's an injury on Justin's team, I don't know if he can sustain it. But I am giving him credit where credit is due, and that is currently right now number 3 in the league. Now, the Bob Marley. I had to throw. This is the next tier. Bob Marley Redemption Song. Go listen to that song. It's a beautifully written song. Bob Marley's the man. Okay. Number 4 in our league in the redemption tier. Here, Kittle. My wife's team is really putting it together. She's 5-5, 58% chance of making the playoffs. Stretch run player, Sam Howell. We just talked about him. Sam Howell finally getting right, but a QB, finding that permanent QB. If Sam Howell is that guy, she can make a run for the playoffs. Number 5 in the redemption song tier. I will waddle 500 miles. 5-5. He has a 56% chance of making the playoffs. And Jordan Addison, if he can wake up in Justin Jefferson's absence, even with a down quarterback, that's his stretch run player. He has a 1-2 punch of Allen and McCaffrey. We've talked about it all year. That will carry you pretty far. If he makes the playoffs, maybe the most dangerous team in the playoffs, okay? Number 6, I know he's going to be mad at me for this. I'm sorry, John. You have put together a well-rounded team. I do have to give you credit. I've been trying to give you credit week after week. But I'm going to go with number 6. There's something missing on your team.
With shorts on.
I can't pinpoint it. 87% chance of making the playoffs. So super high chance of making the playoffs. Kareem Hunt's got to be that guy for you moving forward. But relying on Hunt and Dobbs as your real big guys, I'm not sold on it. I like Josh Dobbs. I think he's the man. But I don't know if you can rely on him week after week. It's going to be a tough proposition. You filled in the pieces nicely. Thank God that Jonathan Taylor is back, because if not, you'd be in trouble. Number 7, Kamish, Amon-Ra, 5-5, 50% chance of making the playoffs. My man is back. Mama, you know he's back today. Devon Achane, Devon A-Chain, Devon, whatever you want to call him. The boy is going to be running back and forth through the league. Get him right, stretch run player. Getting right at the right time, having optimal lineups, and some GM mastery. If he can make this make sense on his team, Commission's got a good chance. Now on to a song maybe some of you may not know. It's called Holding On When Love Is Gone by LTD. I think that's love, tenderness, and something else. I can't remember what it stands for, but it's a band back in the 70s. Beautiful band. Number 8, Burrowing Deep for a Ring, Paw. I trust your team. I like your team, but they're 4-6, 22% chance. Stretch run player, Raheem Mostert has to be the guy. They got to push Devon A-Chain out. If he's that guy, then maybe a last-second chance for running at the table. I believe in your team. It's not bad. Lots of running backs on that squad. Number 9, To Infinity and Beyond. Had a heck of a week last week. 4-6, 18% chance of making the playoffs. It's still low, but it's possible. You know what I mean? It's still possible. Isaiah Pacheco, he has a chance to run the table. If he can run the table, this team, all right, then there is a chance he makes it in the playoff, and anyone's dangerous there. Anyone's dangerous. Number 10, a team that has fought and clawed their way back to mediocrity instead of terribleness. But we're back at mediocrity with a chance to make the playoffs. Still a slim chance. Pika Puka, okay, at 4-6, 12% chance. The stretch run player. Dalvin's brother needs to wake up. I never remember his name. I know his last name's Cook. I think it's James. I'm pretty sure. Running back help is the only way she can make it. She needs a lot of running back help. The rest of her team can fill out nicely, but not a bad team. If she does run the table, it's not someone that you're just going to be like, oh, in the playoffs, it'll be dangerous. We're still in the holding on when love is gone tier. I'd like to give this guy some credit. He's had about the worst and the most disastrous fantasy football year that we've seen in a long time, ladies and gentlemen. Kick him in the dicker. That is apropos for that's what he feels like. He feels like someone kicked him in the dicker. Okay. That is what he feels like. 2-8. All right. 0% chance of making the playoffs at this point, but stretch run player, maybe he can make some noise with James Conner. He's still fighting. It's pouring down rain, and he's still fighting and clawing and trying to gather wins. It was a valiant effort by this team, but he really could never get off the ground running. So valiant effort. Now on to, this is the Giving Up by Donny Hathaway. Go listen to that song. That's a beautiful song about just giving up on a relationship. This right here, ladies and gentlemen, is Taryn. Love on the Brain, number 12, bottom tier by herself, 2-8. Jared Goff would be her stretch run player, but I know she hasn't quit, which you couldn't tell by looking at her team. It is embarrassing, ladies and gentlemen. She's had other things on the mind. Yeah, she's on a honeymoon. Okay. What's going on, dude? This team started off hot. I think it was 2-0. I had them number 1 in our league. Love on the Brain, completely a disaster of a year. Now on to bold predictions as we finish it up. Kamish is 9-4 this year. This is the only thing he feels really good at year in and year out. I will waddle 500 miles over to a B or to a not B. I told you, I'm putting a hex on him. The juju is bad for Mark this next couple of weeks until that 50 spot hits my hand. So I'm saying an L for him. And then I'm banking on myself, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, did I put Mackenzie at the top? But I picked Kamish over Mackenzie. So those are your week 10 power rankings. It's lovely to be back. Kamish is back, ready to go. 1 o'clock games are coming on in 10 minutes. Make sure your lineups are set, ready to rock. Peace and love. Kamish.
As